There we go. Happy Wednesday, everyone. It's time for the Ravori Sports Podcast. So like and subscribe to all of our social media content. So we got a little quick Oriole one tonight. So I usually start a little bit later because a lot of you are watching the Orioles game and everything like that. And my goodness, this didn't go well tonight. So yeah, that's not even in the notes there. Offense just looked bad lately. The last couple of games. So we'll get into that. We'll start with football. A couple of housekeeping things. Couple days here away here at Jen. The last day, the NFL, the NBA draft tonight. Obviously, I was checking that out. Obviously, and MLB draft coverage 2025, and instant reaction to the Orioles and the Marlins. So we're definitely going to have that for you guys though here. So definitely check that out. The last day of the draft before the All-Star break, we're going to talk about the All-Star game tonight as well. Genesis Notary Services, Facebook.com. Man, it was hot for my last notary appointment that I had. It was so hot. It's been so hot outside. So definitely, if you know, if you're in the Winchester area, thank all of you in the Winchester, Shenandoah Valley area who have called and supported our notary business. And if you need anything in the Winchester area, definitely go ahead, give us a call. Definitely check us out. Genesis Notary Services / Facebook, or if you go to Google Genesis Notary Services, Winchester, Virginia, go ahead and put that in there. RaverySports.company.site. So definitely our information is on there. Ravens, Orioles, hats, jerseys are all on there. So definitely go ahead and check that out. See, Charles Harris, we are LegalShield.com. Definitely check that out as well. If you have anything with business or your businesses or anything, definitely check us out. See Charles Harris. We are LegalShield.com. It's a great resource for you. If you are looking for anything, legal help, anything like that, everybody knows by now, if you've been watching this, I've been using it for all my businesses here, Ravori Sports, Genesis Notary Services, all legal matters, and anything. So definitely use that. Definitely check that out as well. So absolutely do that as well. All right. Let's get to the business. So, Breakout Ravens in 2025. So, title of the stream, Breakout Players 2025. Rising Stars, shine, ready to shine. So, the Ravens 2025. So, Breakout is, we're going to talk a little bit about players in their, you break out, I think, early in your career, right? So, let's say Kyle Van Noy was a good example of a guy benched, almost retired, came back. That's more of a comeback. So we're talking about guys here who have never really taken that step, or if they have taken a step, they're ready to take that bigger step. So who's having a bigger role? Who's scheduled to have a bigger role? Who may not in our segment here? So we're going to talk about Ravens coming up in this season that figure to have a bigger role or breakout, as they say, 2025. All right, so let's start. Rookies, obviously, or they're going to come in. Some will play, some won't. We know the Malachi Starks is going to be your starting safety for sure. With definitely a Darius Washington out for the season or most of the season, pretty much. Malachi Starks is going to be your starting safety. I would think probably before the Washington industry, there was probably going to be a stiffer competition, and there may be some competition. They may have. Um, it's a chance they may put Bro Braid or Sesame Kane ahead of him on the depth chart at the start. I don't think so, but it's possible. But Malachi Starks is going to be a key contributor there. Him and Kyle Hamilton, you could pretty much look for that as the starting safety. Although, again, he's a rookie. We'll see how they ease him in. John Harbaugh historically eases rookies in. He doesn't always start. CJ Mosley, shout out, by the way, CJ Mosley recently retired. He's one of the few rookies I remember that came right in, started from minute one, played minute one. And, usually there's a progression, like right away. Tyler Linderbaum was kind of also in that category, right from the beginning of camp he started. Let's see if that happens with Malachi Starks. Mike Green, I think, is more likely to be rotational player. Mike Green, I think, is the future. I think it's very, very big for Mike Green. They're going to ease him in, and I think they have the luxury of easing him in because they have Kyle Van Noy and Adafi Owe. After this year, their contracts are up. So it'll be interesting to see if they want to play him. I think he's probably going to be your third rush end on the team as well. You may see him in some pass down situations early. Definitely you'll see him just bend the edge when they put three edge rushers in at times. So you see Mike Green. I think he'll be the third guy. But I think going forward in the future, I think maybe a little bit early for a huge breakout. But with his talent, I think the sky's the limit for Mike Green as well. Another rookie's going to play a lot, Emory Jones at offensive tackle. Haven't listed as offensive tackle because that's what he was in college. I do think Emory Jones is going to be in the left guard conversation. He's going to be in the right guard conversation. Left guard, I think, and right guard, I think we're going to get at least at the start Voorhees and Falele. So it's probably a contributing role. It looks, at least early, but I think he's going to be in the conversation. I think he's going to have every opportunity to do that breakout and be the starter. But I think probably are contributing. These three for sure are going to be guys that are going to contribute a lot early as well. We're talking about Andrew Voorhees, and we were just talking about the starter competition. Is Voorhees going to be now what we have envisioned? And we've been waiting a while now for Voorhees. Voorhees has been a very good college player, would have been a high draft pick, had the injury at the combine, actually did the weights with the hurt ankle in the combine. Regardless, Andrew Voorhees had to sit out the whole first season, played last year, started out of camp, was benched, moved back. Now can he move to the spot now that he's in his third year as a pro as the starter, as the guy who can break out and become the starter full-time on the left side next to, very important, next to Ronnie Stanley, considering all the injuries as good as Stanley was last year, all the injuries he's had. So see if Voorhees can become that type of player as well. Isaiah Likely. Interesting. So I've kind of mentioned this last week with maybe there's even a bit of a competition now with that. A lot of people, a lot of fans like Isaiah Likely. Teams like Isaiah Likely. I had to rein myself in here and to see if it's just Ravens. A lot of teams are really like Isaiah Likely. Could he make the Pro Bowl? Could this be the year? Not the following year, the contract year. But could this be the year where Isaiah Likely becomes one of the best tight ends in the league? So maybe we don't have to wait. It'll be interesting to see. It is possible with Andrews getting older. Not quite over the hill yet, I don't think, but could they just be guy using him in the red zone, etc.? Could now we see Isaiah Likely become not only just the good backup tight end to the starter to a Pro Bowl level player, he's got that type of volume catching the football for sure. So it'll be interesting to see. Bit of a question mark. You're going to see some question marks with these outside linebackers. Tavius Robinson, I think, was the guy who played the most. We know about Kyle Van Noy. We know about Adafi Owe, and we know about Mike Green. Who is going to be that other guy? Is it going to be Tavius Robinson? He played the most last season I think of all that group that they have. They've been drafting outside linebackers, edge rushers, and things like that. So the guy that played the most, Tavius Robinson. I see, though, with Tavius, I think a role could be like a Dallas Thomas for him. We'll see what happens inside, but I think he could play inside. I think he may see a bit of a Swiss Army knife type role for him, especially since you have so many guys on the outside. So interesting to see how much he breaks out. Let me go back here. Yeah, these Isaac. When I saw him in the draft, immediately said played like a Raven. Total unknown. What we're going to get from Adiza Isaac last year. Really didn't play at all. He had one tackle in the whole season. That's how much he was on the shelf. He could be a guy that blossoms in his second year. I think he's got a lot of talent, but is he ready to break out? Got a lot of guys ahead of him. Interesting to see how much he actually plays at all. So it'll be interesting to see if Isaac is the guy to break out. Is Trenton Simpson similar to Andrew Voorhees? What we talked about with Voorhees, is he going to be the guy to actually become the guy next to Roquan Smith? So there is a spot open. Started last year, gave up the number, which is a very good team thing to do. He's going to be wearing 32 this year. I think because he gave it up to Jair Alexander. He's going to be a guy that's actually going to go to the next level and become a solid starter. So he's going to get a good opportunity. He's going to have to fight with Teddy Buchanan, I think, in camp. But can he be more than that as well? Athleticism is absolutely there. I don't love his football instincts at all times. At the same time, I love his football instincts. That doesn't make sense. I think instinctively he's good at times, and he's not good at other times. I think he's very consistent. I think that's kind of the issue as well. They got to decide, is he going to be instinctively a good instinctive player, or is he going to be more of a more traditional player, a more traditional player, a more coached player, a more strategic player? That makes sense. All right. So here's a guy who I think we all have a lot of hopes for the future, Nate Wiggins. Wiggins, I think, even with Jair Alexander, he's going to play a prominent role. In the NFL in 2025, you're definitely going to need three corners. So you're going to have Marlon Humphrey, you're going to have Nate Wiggins, you're going to have Jair Alexander. Jair Alexander, as good as he is, had some issues on the field. In terms of behavior, some issues with the Packers. Marlon Humphrey, as great as he was last year, injury issues the last couple of years. So a prominent guy could be Nate Wiggins. Could be the Ravens would love to see the number one pick from last year become one of the better corners in the NFL, Nate Wiggins. So is it possible that Nate Wiggins, because he's going to get more time, is he going to play in the Pro Bowl? I think regardless of whatever happens with Alexander. So these three guys are going to play a lot. Wiggins, Alexander, and Marlon Humphrey. Travis Jones, can he become a Pro Bowler? I think he's going to have it all to himself now. With Michael Pierce gone, I really like Travis Jones. I've liked his development. I liked him in college when he played at UConn. I think he's been very solid with the Ravens. Now he doesn't. He played the end a little bit last year, kind of supplanted Broderick Jones. He's going to have the nose all to himself. So can he parlay that into a Pro Bowl next to Matabuke as well? So they have a chance to be dominant up front as well. Travis Jones, I cannot wait. I certainly think a Pro Bowl could be in the offering for Travis Jones here this year. A couple more. Could it be a Pro Bowl as well for the newest $13 million head, Rashard Bateman? I think Rashard Bateman is their best route runner. I don't think there's anything wrong with Bateman as far as a route runner. They're committed to him now. So, I mean, I can tell you this. You buy a new service, or you buy a new car, or you buy a new streaming service, you're going to watch it that first day. You're going to watch it first while. You're going to drive it. You know, they spent $13 million. They're going to use them. So I definitely think it is possible Pro Bowl could be in the offing if the Ravens shift more, throw the ball more, as well. Also, to depending on the opportunities. But I think Bateman could have his first 1,000-yard season. That is absolutely possible for him to see how well he does. There you go. So, there you go. Breakout players. So what guys I think will take the next step? So many names there as far as young players on the roster that'll take the next step. That'll move forward. I really do think that Mike Green is going to be a guy that's really going to help you early. And Malachi Starks. I think you need to look no further than your rookies. Malachi Starks, I think, really excited to see now, especially, and again, it's unfortunate what happened with the Darius Washington that he's not going to play at all. But it is exciting to see what is happening with Malachi Starks, what he's able to do as well there. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there with him. So there you go. Top breakout prospects, players for the Ravens in 2025. Next week, we will go ahead and talk more Ravens as well. We're going to go through all the offseason soon. We're getting the training camp, state of the franchise. We're going to go ahead and go through all of that. So we're going to go through our top 10 list. These are the top 10 wide receivers in the NFL of 2025. We're going to take this all the way up until the season starts in September. Who are the top 10 guys? This was hard. I certainly expect a lot of disagreement on my list when I post them on Twitter and we watching the stream. And I certainly absolutely expect a lot of disagreement. The top 5, I really stand on as far as being elite guys in the league. The bottom 5, it was hard. It's really hard to pick 5 guys there. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes as far as that is with top 10. So here we go with our top 10 list here. All right, here we go.
Look at this. Wow, what a transformation. You know, when Justin and I rolled up, these palms were so big, you couldn't see the front of the house. The roof was terrible. Yeah, the paint colored like a weird mauve. It was just ugly.
All right, here we go. Number 10 for the Bucks is the guy who has the most, I think, probably automatic 1,000-yard season every year, Mike Evans. I think you look at the success that Baker Mayfield is having. It's certainly due to the fact that Mike Evans is there and that good receiving core they had. Look, they have a good group of receivers there, but Mike Evans is still the alpha in the room. Missed some games. Maybe he's not the player he was, but you can book 1,000 yards. Great length, great leadership there as well. He's definitely going to get his opportunities there as well. I think Mike Evans is top 10, uber consistent. I believe this in football and in life too. Like, if you're good enough for a long time, you're great. That makes sense. Like, at no point maybe was Mike Evans the number 1 receiver in the NFL, but he's been so good for so long. Definitely got Mike Evans worthy of a top 10. Number 9, Puka Nacua. Not as many yards last year because of the injury, but this guy is going to be super dominant going forward as a wide receiver. They definitely signed Devontae Adams, but this guy, like, even missing in so many games last year, it was like 990 yards, almost 1,000 yards, even with missing so many games. So Nacua, I think, is really does everything well. Everything I could see. Great hands. He's not a hands guy. He's got great hands. He's not a speed guy, and he's not a size guy. He's a combination of all those things. Every time I've seen him, he's just so dominant on the end. So I think it's just a matter of keeping him healthy Guy got picked late, really got overlooked by a lot of teams. So Nakua, number 5, he's definitely going to get those deep opportunities with Matt Stafford on his team. They're going to throw the ball deep, absolutely. Number 9, Puka Nakua. Brian Thomas of the Jaguars. I think a lot of NFL fans are sleeping on how good Brian Thomas is. I'm not going to call him Larry Fitzgerald yet in terms of hands and everything, but I think Brian Thomas is an outstanding receiver. 87 receptions, 112, 82, 10 touchdowns. Also elected the Pro Bowl as a rookie. I think we've just seen the start. I think if you're trying to get Trevor Lawrence right in Jacksonville, you get a guy like Brian Thomas to get him right. This is where you look. You look to number 7 to throw the football, kind of like Nakua too, not just one thing. He does a lot of things well. He's got good size. The question in the draft, could he operate with that with guys around him with the attention? Certainly there's no more of that. Absolutely Brian Thomas as well. He's going to have Travis Hunter on his team as well to actually go ahead and help him out. I like that as well when you have another good receiver there. So Brian Thomas, I think, in number 8. Terry McLaurin has been so underrated for so long. I'm not going to leave Terry McLaurin off the list anymore. I think you look at Jayden Daniels and his development, you look at how good Terry McLaurin is. Fantastic in the red zone, Terry McLaurin. Great in tight areas, great in the goal line area, great in the short, great. All hands are outstanding. Speed, route running, I think, is top shelf. Not a Tyreek Hill or something like that with super fantastic speed, but definitely consistent. Definitely a guy getting the job done consistently over time. Terry McLaurin, I think, is really, really severely been underrated throughout his career. I see him on the overrated list, and I don't know where that comes from. Ever. Like, all he does is make great catches as well. 1096 last year, had 13 touchdowns. Fantastic stuff, I think. Terry McLaurin, I'm absolutely putting him in the top 10 with that outstanding quarterbacking they're going to have in Washington. Number 6, Malik Neighbors. You talk about how good Brian Thomas' hands was. Malik Neighbors has sensational hands. Complete package as a rookie. I think the bigger beef with him, why he's not in the top 5, is I don't know if he's going to have any good quarterbacking really to showcase himself like some of these other guys. I mean, he's going to have Russell Wilson. I mean, they're talking about Jackson Dart starting. You know, I don't know. Is that even with that 1,200 yards, 7 touchdowns? Malik Neighbors is the goods. I mean, he's the real deal. I think definitely here's a guy you're going to pencil him in for 1,400 yards if the quarterbacking can get right. But even in the midst of all, it was kind of like Saquon Barkley I saw with the Giants years before. In the midst of all their problems, definitely Malik Neighbors, you can absolutely see how good Malik Neighbors is as well. Number 5, now we got some names we know for sure. CeeDee Lamb of the Dallas Cowboys. Now, again, worried about the quarterbacking here. In Dallas. We know how good Prescott has been. Can you keep him healthy? 1,700 yards in 2023, down to almost like 1,200. He's had every year in his NFL career, he's had over 900 yards, almost 1,300 yards, almost 1,200 yards last year. CeeDee Lamb is easy a number 1 receiver as well. This guy's great speed. I think his speed is very underrated. He definitely runs away from people. Guys, when he gets the ball in space, guys do not catch CeeDee Lamb as well. He's good in traffic as well. Kind of underrated in traffic. I think to be so good, he doesn't really pop your eyes out all the time in terms of areas, but he's very, very consistent as well. This is exactly what he needs. Interesting to see, again, how it goes with Pickens with him in Dallas. How that's going to go as well. Pickens mad about catching the football. Good luck trying to get Prescott to look at somebody else besides CeeDee Lamb, as good as CeeDee Lamb is. I'm sorry, wrong way. Number 4. Yeah. That's number 3. Number 4. What is going on? Management appreciate your cooperation. All right. Number 4. Amon-Ra St. Brown. St. Brown, I think again, considering the profile of receivers, I think he's a little bit underrated. Very, very dominant as a receiver. This is a run offense, but I think like the way he's played, it's been really, really enabled for the Lions to go ahead and elevate their play. You look at his career, almost 5,000 yards, 34 touchdowns already. Last season, he had 1,200 yards, 115 receptions, second in the NFL, top 5, I think, in everything. I think you look at the stats, and I think like sometimes I think this guy is underrated, but he's definitely a speedster of burner as well. He's definitely, anytime he has the football in his hands, he's going to take it all the way. He has that type of ability to take it all the way. Definitely like him in traffic as well. Good receivers are great. Catch the ball not only in space, but with guys around him. St. Brown absolutely does that. Number 4, I think he's the 4th best receiver in the entire NFL. I saw somebody say that A.J. Brown was overrated. I don't know what they're watching. He certainly wasn't as good last year, for sure. I think that's true. I mean, before that, 1,400 yards, I think almost 1,500 yards, 2 consecutive years. I think it was down. I think he missed a few games, not as many catches. But A.J. Brown, I think, is a force multiplier. I think there is a guy, you do not take 50-50 balls from A.J. Brown. I think this is the guy, I think, as much as anybody in the league, as I want with the 50-50 ball. So he's going to run away from you. He's going to run it in traffic. But it doesn't matter to me if your quarterback at Jalen Hurts, if there's a DB on him, he's going to get it. Fairly confident in A.J. Brown. I think there seems to be some friction with him and Hurts. So we do need to keep an eye on that. I think that is a thing with him and Hurts, and there seems to be friction there. But I'm not worried about that. Like, he is outstanding as well. Number 2, we know who the number 2 is. Justin Jefferson of the Vikings. I think this guy is a man amongst boys, a beast. Justin Jefferson, he's just the name I've had for him. He's just a cheat code. Too big, too strong, too fast, too powerful. Great hands. He's to the point we talk about neighbors and opportunities to get. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is. It doesn't matter who it is. He's going to get 1,500 yards regardless. Doesn't matter if you throw it in the dirt. He's going to get it. He's got tremendous hands. The total measurables of him, I think, is better than any other player. This is like Calvin Johnson reincarnated. So I think nothing not to like. He did have an injury last year, so that's a bit of a concern. Only reason I have him at 2 is Jamar Chase. I think is in his own planet. I think as well. I cannot overlook the value with him and Joe Burrow. Can't do it. The way they play together, I think, is fantastic. And I think Chase, the only thing that's kept him away from 1,700 yards consistently is the fact that he has had some injuries and everything. So, but I think Jamar Chase, number 1 receiver in the NFL. So there you go. Jamar Chase is the number 1 receiver in the NFL. I think it's the top 5 are pretty much the top 5. I mean, if you want to say, I'm having a hard time finding 5 that the bottom 5, if you want to argue, there's an argue. I think the top 5 is pretty clear right now in the NFL. Those guys at the top. All right. So we have an NBA champion now. the Oklahoma City Thunder. Shout out to you at Sportsil in Lawton, Oklahoma, cheering your Oklahoma City Thunder on there. Um, I don't know what people's problem was with this series. I thought the series itself was fantastic. I thought the games played were fantastic. This was defense. This was physical. I love the fact that the Pacers were playing 94 feet on defense. You rarely see that. I think that I don't know if it served them, but I think at this point of the season, absolutely do that. I think it physically tired them out in times too. I think it caused them where they just were tired out. If you're cracking on the Thunder, I don't know why. I honestly, you're honestly missing me with that. Outstanding player, SGA, leading scorer in the NBA this season, playoffs MVP, Finals MVP. I don't know. I honestly don't understand if you have a problem with Shea Gilgeous-Alexander at this point. I can't help you. I don't understand. He was fantastic. I thought all the way through as well. Pressuring him had a lot of time, elevated his team. I think like not super exciting on offense. I think that's probably the thing. They're not. That's the only thing I can think of as far as that goes. But they were. I think this is to say they're not a worthy champion is ridiculous. This is a worthy, outstanding NBA champion. 68 wins, had a tough win. Pacers came to play tough. That's what they're supposed to do. I think Carlisle might be the best coach in the NBA right now, if it's not Eric Spoelstra as well. His team showed up. Halliburton, shout out to him getting injured. I think they're not going to have him next year, so it's going to be harder for them to win the title, obviously, next year without Halliburton. But the Pacers have nothing to be embarrassed about. The Pacers showed up as well. Halliburton was starting to play well. He played through injury. Siakam, I think, played well. Good stuff. I thought if you're mad about stuff, it's stuff that's not on the court. I thought this was series-wise. The only thing that was lacking, frankly, was the high wire act of Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, somebody with, explosive time. But other than that, I think this was good. I thought this was definitely like a Celtic Piston series, like a Laker Piston series or Celtic, even that. Celtic Pistons, physical, hard, nothing wrong with that. So shout out to the Thunder getting the job done. One other thing I do want to mention, this is now the end of the cable TV era. This may be self-indulgent here, but the end of the cable TV era in the NBA. So next season, NBC is going to be back on. They're going to be on Peacock. You're going to have that. Also, too, you're going to have Amazon have games. They're going to split the TNT package, really, and NBC and Amazon is going to take part of that. ESPN is the flagship, is going to remain with the finals. Pretty much going to stay the same. Change with ESPN, though, they are going to now have their own streaming service that you can watch the games. So now if you're watching games on ESPN, you can go to Disney Plus or you can go to ESPN Plus or ESPN streaming service, whatever they're going to call it, and get all the games, not just their extra service or whatever. You can get NBA, NFL, and all that other stuff. So when the season starts next year, we're going to have that up pretty soon. So end of an era in that sense, but great stuff from the NBA there as well. So there you go with that. Let's go to baseball as well. Let's talk about the MLB. We're going to get to baseball summer here as well.
She literally wants me to get back up and go in there. No, I'm not. You're going to have to wait.
So let's go to baseball. So we're going to go over the All-Star game that's coming up. So the All-Star voting is coming up here pretty soon. And we're going to go ahead and look over who would actually be in the All-Star game coming up here as well. So if we had the All-Star game here, the voting is going to be here this week. I think it's tomorrow, the beginning of the voting, or it's next week. But we're going to look at it like who is going to be in the All-Star game if I was deciding it, the All-Star game. Okay, So this isn't just
She's watching her phone.
there.
Don't do that. I do that.
All right, there you go. So this is if I was deciding the All-Star game. Who would be the All-Stars on the field with that? The only thing that is causing that has changed is there is that rule, and I did stick to it, that one team has to have an All-Star. That includes the White Sox, that includes the Rockies. They have to have at least one. So that's fine. That's the old trick in the book. So you get all the fans of all the teams to root for the one guy, whatever, even if the team doesn't. So here we go. This is like if the All-Star game, these are the guys I think are the most deserving, especially the starters and the pitchers, I think, for the most part. Cal Raleigh, I don't have him in the MVP vote, I think, but certainly he's been outstanding. I think he's ahead of Judge. He's been now flip-flopping with Judge as far as who's leading the AL in home runs. So you got to have Cal Raleigh, obviously, to start. Paul Goldschmidt, I'm going to leave him at first base for the Yankees. He's been really, really good for them. Surprising. I think a lot of people thought Goldschmidt was kind of maybe past his prime or whatever. He's really played well for them. So you definitely have to put him there. You look at all the stats. Paul Goldschmidt. Brandon Lowe of the Rays. Rays have, again, been better than you thought. The offense, again, better than you thought. Lowe has been really good for them. So Brandon Lowe, I think, is going to start. If I was to start, I would actually use him at second base. Jose Ramirez is at third. That's pretty chalk right there. Ramirez has been at or near the top as far as one of the better third basemen in the American League now for the last couple of years. Here's a rookie, Jacob Wilson, probably right now could have the best batting average in the entire AL. So definitely you get points for me playing in that terrible situation in Sacramento as well. But he's been fantastic for them. Good defense. He's good defensively as well. He's not just, he's hitting very well. He's good defensively as well. So he's been really good. Riley Green, I think for the Tigers, is hitting a lot of home runs. I think the Tigers definitely at the top as far as being one of the better teams in the American League. I think Riley Green is there. Steve Kwan, I think I've always liked Steve Kwan. I think like the only thing wrong with him throughout his career, he's not a power hitter, but everything else hits average as well. He's always near the top of the league in hits as he is this year. Aaron Judge, we know. The only thing with Aaron Judge, I don't know why anybody's pitching to him. They walked him twice. I should be seeing that all the time. Hey, he's just putting everything in the seats, hitting well over 350 most of the year. Ryan Hearn, I think, is probably the Oriole hitter that is deserving as well. How much longer is he going to be an Oriole? But how bad would it have been without Ryan O'Hearn for the Orioles this year? So definitely do that. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Will Smith is the catcher for the Dodgers. I think I can't argue that. I think like steady and not spectacular has probably been the whole tone of his career. That's kind of what he's done. Pete Alonso, all the talk about Juan Soto and all that, etc. Pete Alonso, I think, has been really good for the Mets. I think even Mets are kind of not realizing this. Looking at it here, I would have Alonso there to start. Kentel Marte, I think, has been finally getting national recognition for being the best second baseman in all of baseball. I think that's absolutely true right now. Marte, I think the Diamondbacks haven't been good this year, but Marte has been fantastic. Kind of the same in the American League with Jose Ramirez, Manny Machado at or near the top year after year at third base. I think Manny, is a bit of a resurgence. I think they kind of really needed Manny to be good this year. He's been good for him this year. So see a little bit more of a leadership with him as well. So good for Manny. I have him at third. Ellie De La Cruz. I pumped the brakes a little bit with the De La Cruz hype beforehand, but he's been good as well all year long. Definitely stealing a lot of bases. I love stealing bases. He hits for average. Defensively, I think he's a freak of nature as well. So you have De La Cruz. Corbin Carroll there and Pete Curl Armstrong as well. Corbin, I would pick. I don't know if he's going to play. He went on the DL, so I don't know if he's actually going to be healthy enough to be in the game. So Armstrong, I would have as the starter, if not. Armstrong, I think, is the probably probably other than Jake Wilson, the biggest shock, I think, in all of baseball. I mean, this guy is leading in every offensive category. Looks like at near the top in the National League. He's been fantastic. James Wood, I think the trade and all the prospects he's coming to Nats, I think, have one of the better center fielders in baseball, one of the best outfielders in all of baseball. One of my favorite players ever is Kyle Schwarber. He's been fantastic. I think Schwarber, again, nearing the league leader home runs, not hitting 220 anymore, not hitting 230, not 300 and all that, but 250, solid. Definitely a big score for the Phillies. Shohei Ohtani, we know. Man, Dodger Jason even tried to tell me he's struggling for his standards, maybe. Like, he's got like 25 home runs, just about. So Shohei Ohtani there as well. Reserves in the American League. I'll move a little quicker here. Alejandro Kirk is the Blue Jays representative, probably the one guy that they have on their roster. Got to have one. I think he's probably been their best. Jonathan Armada for the Rays. I think, Rays offense is better than what you think it is. They have a couple guys here that have been really good. Gleyber Torres, I think, is also, too, you look at the Tigers contributing to that best record. Alex Bregman, center of controversy there. I definitely think he deserves it, even though he's had the injury that's kind of misses some time. But I definitely would put Bregman in. Bobby Witt, I think probably this is the guy who's going to be the best shortstop right now in the league. No gunner. Not close. Bobby Witt has been fantastic. Jared Duran, I think I had a Red Sox fan tell me at church, this is our new leader. Jared Duran, now with Devers out the door, this is the guy that's going to lead us going forward. So I think that tells you a lot about how he's played and what they think. Julio Rodriguez is at center field. I'm waiting for him to see a little bit more out of him, too. I keep saying that. But he's been good. But we're still waiting for those awesome numbers. Like Altuve, I'm giving it to him in right field. I don't know why he's in right field, but he's definitely, the stats have been there. I think it's definitely a thing fine to put Jose Altuve in the All-Star game in right field. Miguel Vargas, probably the closest thing the White Sox have to an All-Star as well. You got to have one. I think that's probably it. Jeremy Pena, shortstop. He's the guy in the Astros. I think Astros have been offensively okay, but I think Pena has been a guy like you definitely take a look at. Again, Junior Camarillo, got to have him. He's been fantastic for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays here so far. Not great at the start. Not great. A little bit of a tail lately, but been really good overall. Rockies having Hunter Goodman. That's their all-star at center, the all-star catcher. So definitely got to have Hunter Goodman there. Freddie Freeman for the Dodgers. We know he's the best hitter. I think Freddie Freeman might be the best hitter in all of baseball. I mean, in terms of the last few years. In terms of pure hitter, I don't know if there's a better one than Freddie Freeman. I told you Tommy Edman was do well in the Dodgers. I think that the playoffs was just a start. I think he's definitely all-star worthy of it this year. Austin Riley looks like he's back to form in third base for the Braves. I put him in at third base. Trey Turner, he seems to start slow, but he's been really good lately. So I definitely have Trey Turner there. Jackson Chirino for the Brewers. Pretty close amongst the outfielders. I think he was, but I think this is a good choice. I think Torino, I think we haven't seen the best of him yet as well. I think he's the guy going forward, certainly in the rookie year conversation last year. Andy Pages, you might not know him. He's been fantastic for the Dodgers. I definitely put him. You look at the stats, kind of like Armstrong. Like I see, you're going to see his name a lot, top 5 in a lot of categories. So he's been really good. Fernando Tatis. I think he's living up to his potential now. I think in the outfield, I think he just had to keep his head on straight. Devers, I think, should be there in the All-Star game now in the National League with the trade, putting him there. Marlins, there's an Oriole name, Kyle Stowers. There you go, right there. Brandon Donovan for the Cardinals, definitely their good average hitter for them as well. Couple more. American League, Tarek Subel, Max Fried, Carlos Rodon, Joe Ryan, Jacob deGrom, Garrett Crochet in the pitching. Starting the game, Tarek Subel. Personally, that's what I would do. Pretty close with Max Fried. I don't have a problem if you start either one. I'd like to see Subel there as well. Rodon, Hunter, Joe Ryan. Got to have a Twins. Maybe they leaned it out a little bit, but as well, Jacob deGrom just tore the Orioles apart tonight. He's absolutely, absolutely worthy of that. And Garrett Crochet, absolutely everything you thought that was happening if you get him off the White Sox as well. Relief pitching for the American League. Carlos Estevez, Josh Hader, Felix Bautista, and Andres Munoz, and Aroldis Chapman. Yes, that's right. Aroldis Chapman's been really good for the Sox this year. Felix Bautista, I think, is all-star worthy. Not quite as good as he's been as well, but Hader, Munoz absolutely put those guys in there as well. National League, I'm starting Paul Skeens. One loss record is totally not his fault. They're just not scoring for him at all. I think that's a tragedy. This guy is the best pitcher, I think, in all of baseball. I think totally, if it's not Turkey. So that's why we put him there. Robbie Ray has been more like his Cy Young self. Zach Wheeler has been fantastic as usual for the Phillies. Cody Singer's ERA has been microscopic for the Mets. Freddie Peralta has been their ace out there for the Brewers. I have him. Logan Webb has been fantastic. The whole Giants rotation has been fantastic as well. David Peterson for the Mets, kind of under the radar, really good for the Mets there as well. Last section, relief pitchers, closing it out. Roger Suarez, I think he's going to be healthy enough. I think he went out, but we'll see. But I think he's going to be healthy enough, or I'm not sure if Gold Curl is. If he's not, somebody let me know in the comments if he's for sure going to be out. But you're definitely going to have him there as well. Trevor McGill, I think one of the save leaders of the league with the Brewers. Emilio Pagan, Kyle Finnegan with the Nats, I think is good. The best closer entrance, not named Rick Vaughn, Edwin Diaz for the Mets. I think too, they're paying him a lot of money. They were kind of hoping he'd be real good. He's been fantastic for him all year long. So there you go. That's who should be in the All-Star game. That's the Ravori Sports version. Totally just merit-based. Not the fan vote, not any of that stuff. Starters were the best. Second best were the rest. But totally based on merit. The only other thing was had to stick to one team, had to have one. That'd be too unrealistic to do that. So I put that in there. So there you go. One more thing on that. I really, really debated having Jackson Holiday, but I couldn't do it. I don't think Jackson Holiday, as good as he's been, I think, didn't make the cut. I was really hoping he would, but Jackson Holiday quite didn't make the cut there as well.
Oh, look.
All right, let's talk baseball summer. And I'm telling you, Orioles fans, especially if you like Major League Baseball, I know some of you don't watch minor league baseball and all that, etc. We're going to talk about it today. But you guys really, really should check out the College World Series if you haven't done it as well. I was very impressed with that. So we're absolutely going to talk about that. Where is center field? Put me. I sing the song myself. Put me in code. I'm ready to play. There we go.
Put me in code. I'm ready to play.
There you go. Baseball summer 2025. So next few weeks, we're going to talk a little bit more about the MLB draft that's coming up as well. But you guys, if you didn't see it, an outstanding College World Series. This was, I think, I can tell you, we were talking about this last night, like all these times. I know once you get rid of football, like a lot of sports fans kind of wait till you are missing. I don't know what to tell you if you didn't like this College World Series. This was fantastic stuff. I thought, like, especially like some of these games. Who was in it? Coastal Carolina, Arizona, Oregon State, Louisville, Murray State, UCLA, LSU, Arkansas. So, couple names we don't know. Coastal Carolina, you can pretty much say the great parable with them. They were in the final game. They were kind of like the Gonzaga version, if you compare it to college basketball. UNLV, smaller school, not good, but really good in baseball. Been really good. Arizona was there. Pac-10, Pac-12 is coming back. The Pac-12, they're a Big 12 team now, so they were the representative there. Arizona, Oregon State. We already know how great their baseball program has been. They had Adley Rushman there as well. Louisville, I thought, was really tough. I thought the pitching was good. Murray State, underdog. I think they were a little overmatched here in the College World Series. UCLA was there back for the last few years, been out here. LSU and Arkansas, we know, great. They're great SEC as well. There as well. I thought that game before the game was fantastic. The LSU Arkansas game in game 4, the first game they two matched up. LSU won the game. Great pitching performance by Cade Anderson in that game. That was just fantastic stuff. And there, it was fantastic. Not as good as Greg Wood, who actually had a no-no in the series. So Greg Wood actually had a no hitter, no run against Murray State. And Cade Anderson, oh, wow, man. He was that pitching performance. He was series MVP. In the first game against Coastal Carolina was as good anything you'll see anywhere. 130 pitches. Not just the strength of that is impressive enough, but the fact that he was mixing his pitches was just incredible. Mixing the pitches, not just the heaters and all that. Curveball, off speed, blending. It was just fantastic. Shutting down inning after inning. Didn't get a lot of run support. Winning the game 1-0 in the first game. Really set the tone. Fantastic in the first game. So they win 2 games to nothing, double elimination. They win the second game 5-1. I think it was a little bit more convincing as well. Got the big fly in that. A lot of their guys, they're certainly going to be back, I think, in the College World Series next year. Coastal Carolina, nothing to be ashamed about. Their catcher, Bodine, I think, is Caden Bodine, I think, is going to be the best catcher in this draft. So I think he was fantastic. But they didn't have enough offense. They didn't have enough thunder to match also to the great pitching that LSU had. So great stuff. College World Series final. Next week, we're going to talk about the College World Series as far as who were the best players in the College World Series. We'll go ahead and talk about that next week. So, but outstanding stuff. Outstanding stuff. I definitely highly advise you if that game's on YouTube or anywhere else, definitely check that out. Caden Anderson, they are insane, the Nets, to not to take him after what I saw. That was just so impressive what I saw there with Cade Anderson. Orioles reports. Y'all almost don't deserve a report the way y'all played tonight. Adley Rushman on the 10-day DO. We called Maverick Hanley from Norfolk as well. So definitely check that out there as well. Maverick definitely as well. He got into an incident as well. There. Maverick Hanley had to exit the game on June 22nd against the Orioles. Had a tough collision at the plate with Jazz Chisholm of the Yankees. That was crazy stuff. Basically, if you see Maverick Hanley, so it was a play at the plate, and Hanley was trying to stop Jazz Chisholm from coming in and scoring on the play. So he goes in the baseline and stops him from getting there to run, and Hanley gets hit in the head and actually falls down. It looks like WWE or something like that. But props to him, stays in the game, tried to at least. They took him out of the game for concussion protocol for his own health because he was trying to stay in the game. So he's on 10-day IL after that collision. But shout out to him with that. Chadrick Tromp was brought up from Norfolk in his place after that gnarly collision after Mountie transferred to the 60-day DL. Not a big thing. Mountie, we know he's going to be out for a while anyway. Now, Samuel Basayo, I'm attention this here.
Oh.
Look, I don't know how you fans feel about Adley. He's going to be back. That's the reason they're not bringing Basayo up. They don't want to send him back down and get him. They want to rather have him in Norfolk getting significant playing time. I think some of you guys are done with Adley. I think that's why some of you were calling for Adley there as well, as good as he's been. But I don't think they want to bring him up and send him back down. We still may see him. You never know. That might, baseball's like that tomorrow, whatever I said. But I think that's the reason why they didn't bother doing that as well. So it'll be interesting to see. Jacob Stallings signed to a minor league contract, sent Tyler O'Neill to Chesapeake for a rehab assignment. Tyler O'Neill did play in Chesapeake as well. Stallings, they went ahead and signed to a minor league contract as well. Interesting. Now, this is a move, too, for those of you who want Basayo. Could they be signing him? Because they do have the intention of bringing up Basayo. Interesting that they're bringing up another catcher. And the thing, trade deadline coming up. Zach Eflin, Charlie Morton, who's been better, right? And Taro Sano could be pitching depth. So Anthony Dominguez or Greg Soto could boost any bullpen for a playoff push, right? Greg Soto, you can have him. Dominguez, I think probably relievers are easier to move. You pick ones that are having good seasons that can help you right now, and you get a decent enough final. You kind of know what you're going to get. Eflin has kind of struggled a bit. It seems less likely with all three of these guys. All three, Eflin, Morton, and etc., don't have contracts next year. So you're not going to have them most likely next year anyway. So are you going to wanting to get something here as well? Cameron Weston, three relievers, defeated the Jeanette Swipers for a combined one hitter for Norfolk. Definitely keep your eye on him. So definitely you're talking about moving all these guys. Keep an eye on Cameron Weston, who has been really good at Norfolk here as well. Gary Sanchez, for those of you who don't want him to play, has played well as well. Ryan O'Hearn, we keep talking about how good we had been without Ryan O'Hearn. Trevor Rogers, I thought was fantastic in this last round. I thought this was the bright spot of the week for me, watching Trevor Rogers on the mound. Zach Eflin wasn't good, I think, in his last start. Kobe Mayo, I think we're still kind of waiting. It's okay. Still a rookie. I think we got to give it some time, but he's getting to play every day, and I think that's good. Arias, we know. He's up and down. He's good at times. He's bad at times. Not so great this week. What's going to happen this week? Going to play the Rays at home. So you're definitely going to get that. And going to the Rangers. So tonight you had a game, Texas and Camden Yards. You're going to go down to Texas and play as well. And I think Jackson Holiday and Ryan O'Hearn are the two guys that are carrying all the luggage for you. Gunnar has got to step up and help these guys. You're not helping. Gunnar, I'm seeing 1 for 3, 2 for 4, average around 70. Not seeing him drive the ball, not seeing that, especially with Adley and some guys out. You're missing some guys, so they need more from Gunnar. They are getting it for Jackson Holiday and Ryan O'Hearn. Player of the week, Jackson Holiday. Thank you guys for joining us here on the Ravori Sports Podcast. Definitely like and subscribe. For those of you also, too, if you're watching on Twitter right now, share the video with somebody you know, and also to subscribe to the YouTube page. We go ahead. Thank you very much. You have a great week.